We have entered the most important 29 hours since the beginning of the geopolitical conflict in the Middle East. The next 29 hours are the most important for how this thing is going to unfold. It's the ultimatum. 29 hours ultimatum. Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time is the deadline that President Trump has given to Iran for a peace deal. If it doesn't happen, then it can get very concerning. I want to cover the latest updates. President Trump did do a press conference just 15 minutes ago, and we live streamed the whole thing, 1 hour, 40 minutes. And some points you need to hear. Bitcoin, is it going to repeat history? Are we going to do what we did in January of this year, where we faked out, collected liquidity, fell below the bear flag, tested its prior support, turned it into resistance twice, created a W structure, then went down $30,000. We collected liquidity in the mid-March. We went down, broke below, retested support, turned it into resistance also twice now in a W structure. Is Bitcoin now going to go down another $30,000? This is what I want to cover. If these topics sound interesting to you, or if you find this video helpful, do me a favor and please destroy the like button. It helps push this video to as many people out there in the crypto ether as possible. And subscribe for daily content, which we've been providing you for the past 4.5 years. My name is Crypto Kid. I've been in crypto for the past 6 years, 24/7. And my job is to deliver the most important, relevant, and accurate information, transparent analysis that I can to you. Let's start exactly with that analysis, and we'll go over to what President Trump had to say. All right. So for me, with Bitcoin, with crude oil, with anything, I'm just remaining in my positionings that have existed. I'm not entering anything new over the next 29 hours because the developments that President Trump gave us are concerning. It's very unpredictable. It's very open to speculation without a real way of really creating a probabilistic, high probabilistic outcome of what's going to happen. So I am on the sidelines with the positions I have that exist. I am in a net short position for the short term, and I'm continuously accumulating Bitcoin spot for the long term because I think Bitcoin is going to go to millions in the future. I am buying a Bitcoin spot, simultaneously short with leverage, because I think this retest, the second retest, and us mimicking the prior price structure is concerning. I find the developments that President Trump shared concerning. I'm going to get into that right after the TA. For me, for the bearish case to be invalidated, I need Bitcoin to break above $77,000. If we break above $77,000, amazing. I will exit my short positions and we can recalibrate, rediscuss. If that were to happen, it would correspond with ceasefire and a peace deal being reached in the Middle East. So it's all dependent on that. This is why I'm just keeping out what I have. And if we see a break above 77K, great, we will reconsider. But for the time being, we have a lot of unpredictability, a lot of uncertainty ahead of us. Markets hate uncertainty. We have the PCE inflation data, the most important inflation data for the Fed to determine interest rates, coming up on Thursday. We have jobless claims coming up on Thursday, and we have the CPI data coming up on Friday. We know that inflation is going to skyrocket. Why? Because crude oil is still over $100 per barrel. If crude oil rockets, if inflation rockets, we're going to see the March data, right? March data will be shown up towards the end of this week. When inflation rockets, because I think it's going to rocket. I believe a lot of Fed governors are going to start writing very hawkish notes. We're going to see it come up on Twitter. I think monetary policy is going to remain tight. So I just see this week, the events of this week being unpredictable and on the bearish side. So I'm keeping my bearish positioning. If you want to take your own positionings for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, you can check out the links to Lavex in the description down below, and Bybit if you specifically want to buy crypto for the first time. Dollar cost average in the bear market using Apple Pay credit card. Check out Bybit if you want to trade the likes of crude oil, gold, silver, S&P 500. Check out the second link to BTCC down in the description below. What is it that President Trump said during this press conference? Well, first thing, 8 p.m. tomorrow Eastern time. My time, it's going to be roughly 4 a.m. Wednesday morning, not Tuesday evening. For me, it's going to be Wednesday morning. That is the ultimate deadline. President Trump has extended the deadline for hitting key power plant And bridge infrastructure, he has postponed it because he said that negotiations were going well. The ultimate deadline is 8 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow night. If they do not come to a deal, he says, from 8 p.m. all the way until 12 a.m. that night, they will be conducting operations which would take out many bridges and many power plant infrastructure. Do they want to do it? No, he said, because it would take roughly 100 years to rebuild the damage that will be created. And they, from my understanding, want to still have some influence or want to have influence in Iran going forward. So they don't want to have to contribute to the rebuilding costs so much. I don't know. It's a complicated situation. The important thing to know is 8 p.m. is the deadline. If no deal is reached, then they would have to go into a more escalatory stance. Will a deal be reached? Will it not be reached? We found out that JD Vance, the vice president, will be aiding Steve Witkoff, the special envoy, to carry on with negotiations. President Trump said negotiations are going well, but we also know that the IRGC is proposing for a peace to be reached. They're proposing many terms that Americans don't want to accept. The most important term out of all is the full reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. Before we continue, a quick word from our sponsor. FortisX is a platform for people who want clearer data on proof-of-stake networks and an easier way to use validator infrastructure. It combines a detailed analytics layer with managed access to staking and liquidity pools on supported networks. On the analytics side, FortisX shows validator performance, uptime, slashing, and network participation in one dashboard, and also exposes this data through APIs and webhooks for teams that want to plug it into their own tools or reports. For staking, users pick a supported network, deposit a supported asset, and FortisX handles forming and managing the staking position in the background, distributing across multiple validators according to predefined policies while monitoring diversification and validator health. Liquidity pools sit on top of this, making it easier to adjust positions within protocol constraints while keeping visibility into how exposure is structured over time. If you want a data-driven way to work with proof-of-stake networks, you can check out fortisx.fi. We will be linking them down in the description below. Thank you, FortisX, for sponsoring this content. I know there's a lot of news circulating in traditional financial media, in crypto Twitter, that the Strait of Hormuz is open. No, traffic is still down 90% from where we were in February. And it's only open to the select few countries that Iran is saying yes to. President Trump wants it to be completely open. And President Trump also stated that he will like to collect tolls on ships and vessels that cross through the Strait of Hormuz. For Iran, that is a no-go. So from that point, yes, it does look like escalation is more likely than de-escalation. We just don't know. It's very unpredictable. And that's why I am on the sidelines and I am more bearish than bullish. Apart from geopolitical uncertainty, we have the inflation data, which will not be favorable, that's coming up. We have a not favorable Bitcoin price structure. We're also in a bear market. So all of those things point towards a net bearish observation on the Bitcoin price. Other key things that President Trump stated during that speech was that he would like to get the Iranian oil because he's a businessman first, but I don't think they're going to go ahead and do it. President Trump said that he wants to run for president of Venezuela after they're finished. I don't know what that means. They also stated, I guess finished with Iran or finished with the second term presidency. I don't know. He said he's leading in polls more so than anyone else ever before. The chief of the Pentagon, I believe that is how we refer to Pete Hegseth, he stated that there will be the most amount of strikes ever conducted to Iran since the beginning of the whole military operation today, and that tomorrow will be even worse. Again, it's just more pessimistic than optimistic, way more pessimistic than optimistic. I'm wishing everybody stays safe. I'm wishing for this to be over as soon as possible. But yeah, it doesn't look promising. It really does not look promising. Hopefully they do reach an agreement. Hopefully there is a ceasefire. If there's a ceasefire, then Bitcoin will rocket. I'm prepared for that if 77K is taken out. Beautiful. That's what I want for the betterment of the world. And we can reevaluate accordingly. This is just a warning based off of the information we have currently. Michael Saylor, before we finish off the video, Michael Saylor bought $329 million worth of Bitcoin, and it's roughly equivalent to 766,000 Bitcoin. Their total Bitcoin acquired, 766,000 Bitcoin worth $58 billion. It's basically 75. I don't know why it's 75K, because we're not at 75K, but they have 766,000 Bitcoin in total. Bitmine bought 71,000 Ethereum last week, and their total holdings are at roughly 4% of the supply. Shout out to Artemis 2 because they got to the furthest point ever reached by any human in history today. So congratulations to Artemis 2. It's a big development for humans in general. Dogecoin made a funny tweet saying that this is the Doge flag is what they saw on the moon whilst they were doing the flyby. I wish if it was the bull market, I would have believed them, but we're in a bear market. Thank you all for watching. Shout out to our sponsor for today's video, and I'll see you all on the next video very, very soon. Take care, keep your notification bell on, and bye-bye.